welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, Bournemouth shock Liverpool at the Vitality. Chelsea continue their recovery by beating Leicester. Spurs beat Forest, and there were 2 wins for the top 2 as the title race continues to intrigue.
Lots and lots to get through this week, as always. So, let's talk football. Hello everybody.
Hello, I'm back. I didn't think I was going to be back this week. I thought I got told off last week.
You got told off?
Got told off for shouting Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, they're back in the mud, so it's fine.
That's why I'm allowed to come back, is it?
Yeah. They had a sense of reality smack them in the nose.
I mean, it gave them a very bloody nose as well.
Yeah. What a performance from Bournemouth.
Yeah. From what I've seen of it, they defended very well. The goalkeeper, when called upon, was there. And they got their goal, and Liverpool really didn't look like they were going to get anything from it until the penalty.
I know. Yeah, and that penalty. That one's gone. That one's on its way to see Harry Kane's penalty, I think, from the World Cup.
Well, it wasn't it. So what one we had? Harry Kane's one coming down to collide with someone else's the other week.
Yeah.
So is Mo Salah's going to kind of meet him in the middle?
Yeah.
And then they're all just going to deflect off of one another.
Well, it is went wide, didn't it, rather than high?
All right. Okay. So it's going to curve round the other two.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Meet him at
wherever penalties go to die.
Yeah. Meet him in Qatar. Side of the post. It was that far east.
I mean, I've not taken many penalties in my life, but I think I could probably take one better than that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a shocker. I don't really know what happened. It doesn't look like he slipped or had a footing issue or anything, does it?
No, it just looks like he misjudged it completely.
Because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, he must have lost his standing foot or something to send it that far wide. But nothing.
No, it nearly knocked somebody out.
Yep.
Although it wasn't travelling with much pace. So
no,
it probably wouldn't have done.
It was an absolute shocker. I don't even know, to be honest. But fair play to Bournemouth. I mean, they scored pretty well first half hour, wasn't it? And they get their goal, and they just did not let it go at that point. You could tell they're a team fighting for their place in the league.
Yeah, and that's a very big win for Bournemouth.
Massive.
It's been another intriguing weekend down the bottom.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? With
It really has.
Lots of different results swinging around.
I mean, everyone's talking about it, and I've been talking about it for weeks. Crystal Palace are in trouble.
Yeah, you've been saying it.
I've been saying it, and now it's starting to come to fruition because they're slowly starting to be reeled in.
Yeah.
See, they're now just 3 points above the bottom 3, which is crazy because half the league, I mean, Aston Villa are fine.
Yeah.
In 11th, but half the league are in trouble.
It is bizarre, and there's 20. What is it? 5 points from bottom.
5 points separate 12th from bottom. Yeah,
that's a really tight.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think it's ever been this tight. Yeah. How many games in are we now? 20.
We are 26 for most.
Yeah.
27 for some. So we've only got 9-10 games left.
12.
Well, yeah.
12 games, 38 games in the league.
38, yeah. Well, to be fair, we don't play 38 games a season, do we?
Well, Spurs don't.
But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And
there's got to be a point, though. There's got to be a point where it's when they all start playing each other that the gaps will start to appear a bit more, though. Yeah,
you'd like to think so. Obviously, if they draw with one another, then no. Theoretically, that won't happen.
Well, yeah.
But it's mind-boggling now because obviously we'd written off a couple of these clubs already, and now it's kind of like, well, I don't know what's going to happen.
I still think Leeds and Southampton will go, to be honest.
So the last place is up for grabs.
I mean, one of them might make it out, but yeah, I'm a bit. I still think one of them will go.
Bournemouth's goal difference might be a factor.
It could cut, but Forest are on the same.
Yeah.
And Wolves aren't that brilliant, and neither are Everton, really. There's only really Leicester and West Ham
have got not it's not a dreadful goal difference to have.
No.
But it could come down to that.
It might very well do, to be honest, the way it's all going down there. Yeah. But I would think when we've got about 5 or 6, when it gets down to maybe the last 7 or 8 games, I reckon we'll know who the real contenders are going to be. I think over the next month or so, it'll start to work itself out.
The international break is going to come at a bad time for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
We've just started to get the momentum going again, and now we've got like 10 days off.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the players probably need it.
Well, they probably won't get it, will they? Most of them will be away.
Some of them won't. Rafa Varane's going to have a nice break.
Yeah, because he's retired now, isn't he?
Yeah, loving life.
Hugo's retired as well, but he's injured. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale's on a beach somewhere.
Well, I mean, league-wise, we're done, right? Cause it's unless they're playing... Oh, no, they are playing Premier League games still,
yeah, there are Premier League and Carabao and FA Cup this weekend.
Yeah, because it's the FA Cup this weekend, which is why I thought there'd be no league games, but there's a few league games coming up. So it'd be interesting to see how it all kind of plays out. But let's go back to the games at the weekend then. Well, we're still in the mix. Let's go back to Saturday then. Big win. We're talking bottom, so let's stay down the bottom of the table. Big win for Everton over Brentford.
Yeah.
When you think of how Brentford have been playing.
39 seconds, or however quick it was.
It was so early. It was like, yeah, done. Hold on to it. Sean Dyche, get his teams organised.
To be fair, to extend their lead, but they didn't take them.
Yeah, but that's what they're missing, isn't it?
Oh, they are missing someone to put the ball in the net. Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely what they're missing.
I reckon Calvert-Lewin's not going to be too far away, but
how long will he last?
Breaks down? Yeah.
Because I mean, they went with Damari Gray, didn't they, up front?
Yeah,
at the weekend.
To be fair, Gray does a good job.
Well, he'll run about, he'll get about him, you know what I mean? He's got a bit of pace to get him behind as well, and he does have a decent finish on him.
Yeah.
But it'll be his movement really, and that threat and that physical threat. I just don't think he has that.
No. He's a very slight player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it means Onana and Doucouré have got to come through, and they've got to take the chances when they come.
No, they do. But they are... I mean, that 3 in midfield, decent.
Yeah, it's a decent 3.
It's a decent 3 in midfield. It should really... I mean, it really is surprising how poor they found it, how hard they found it, really. Because, you think of Doucouré, Gay and Onana, and you're thinking that's a decent midfield that any Premier League team would like.
To come from.
Yeah.
I just think Sean Dyche, just simplifies the game.
I think that's it. I think that's what they needed. What are we good at? What are we not good at? Right, let's focus on that and do that.
Yeah. And they battle in the midfield and they try and win the midfield battle. Yeah. And if they can pinch a goal, then they do.
That's it. And then, right, let's talk. We'll keep it to Saturday. Do you want to go through Forest Tottenham, being as you were at the building?
Yes, I was at the building. And thank you, Nottingham Forest. When I say thank you, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Obviously, Forest were very appliant. They were very sort of willing to give us time and space on the ball, which we love. And you've kept a man in his job for another week, which,
Yeah.
So, yin and yang.
I mean, at least you've won a game with Conte on the sideline for a change.
Yeah, but let's face it, I think you and I could probably have managed the game against Nottingham Forest. Away from home. Because Forest are dreadful on the road.
Yeah. Not ideal.
Not ideal. But no, Harry Kane with a couple of goals.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's good to have Son back amongst the goals as well. Good to have Son
back amongst the goals, took it well. Richarlison was unlucky with the VAR call.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, he really likes Lucas Moura over your new signing, doesn't he?
Oh, don't get me started on Lucas Moura and Danjuma, please. Don't understand.
He's just waiting for his... He's adapting to the league, right, Danjuma?
I don't understand.
He needs time to adapt.
Well, he said in the press conference on Friday he wasn't one of my players. He was a club signing. But you're the manager.
Well, how does that happen then?
No one else would have made that decision but you.
But he obviously hasn't made that decision, has he?
No, Paratici's made that decision, but then he's in your squad. Play him.
Well, maybe he's trying to prove a point at this point.
Well, he was... Danjuma, there was an Instagram post Tuesday that
Yeah.
he was in the training ground till like 8:30 at night when everybody else had buggered off home. So it's just like, just give the boy a chance. I mean, we've seen Lucas Moura. We know what Lucas Moura can do, and it's
and what he can't do.
naff all. So, yeah, I genuinely, I feel sorry for him because he could have gone to Everton, and he'd probably be playing. Instead, he's sitting on the bench for us.
I mean, it's quite cold though, so it does need keeping warm.
It is, but it's just, I don't understand.
No, it's not ideal.
I don't understand the Italian fella.
It's not good.
He's cutting his nose off to spite his face at the moment by having a go at us.
Oh God, is he coming after the fans?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Saying that we don't understand, we aren't realistic, or we are very realistic.
I mean, no. To be fair, no, I know a lot of Tottenham fans, and I agree they're not very realistic at all. They're always winning the league. Every season, you're winning the league.
Well, no, he said finishing in the top 4 for us is like winning the league.
I mean, to be fair, you should be celebrating it as such. It's the best you're going to get.
We should be celebrating it, but if you look at the statistics over the last 10 years, our average finishing position is 4th place. We've done it 7 out of 9 or whatever
Let's go. Well done. Achieving your goals.
So, to say that it's like winning the title is very, very disrespectful because we are consistent. We were consistent before he arrived. We'll be consistent after he's gone.
Yeah, but he is right about you, though.
In terms of, I mean, there are a few unrealistic Tottenham fans. I would like to think that I'm not one of them. I would like to think that I'm very grounded and I know where we are.
But you're winning the league every year at the start of it.
But then everybody says that. You know, first game of the season, you are, you know, we can do something this season.
No.
And every season, it comes apart. This time of year, we go out of one cup competition.
If you're a Tottenham fan, so you should start your season going, "No, we know what's going to happen here."
You don't like to do that. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist. And
you optimistically might make the Europa League this season.
Yeah, but it's slowly being beaten out of me by the idiot on the sidelines.
I mean, I think he's right. I think, you know, Tottenham fans have no ball knowledge. They're over ambitious.
That's at Let's Football Pod on Twitter, folks.
Yeah, go on, go for it. See you in the comment section, Spurs fans.
But
He feels zero ball knowledge.
I just think that he's turning it on us now.
Yeah.
You know, he's deflecting it away from himself. Obviously, we had the Richarlison stuff after we lost to Milan.
Yeah.
Which, you know, he was right. You know, he played 2 games, didn't do anything wrong in those 2 games. Arguably, didn't do much right either. Didn't score but he, you know, he made space in behind for others to profit from it. And then he went back on the bench again. And it's like,
odd.
It is odd because Antonio insists on continuing with players that are out of form. Ivan Perisic, out of form. Doesn't look comfortable in this league.
Yeah.
Ben Davies has been superb at left wing back in the games that he's played. Son, who's had a terrible season by his standards, but he plays week in, week out. Now, I get trying to get him into form, but sometimes you just need to take a player out of the firing line. Let him have a couple of weeks on the bench, let him come on, let him get a bit of confidence. Obviously, he did that with Kulusevski this weekend.
Yeah.
With Richarlison. I thought Richarlison was superb.
That's right.
Yeah. So he needs to look at himself in the mirror first before he starts turning on us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rant over.
Yeah. So that was Spurs, who actually won, by the way, if you were listening to the last 5 or 10 minutes there. They actually won the game, by the way. Increased the gap to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Keeping them at bay.
Newcastle closed it up a little bit further, but we're in a healthy position.
Newcastle won as well. Newcastle, look at what they've got. Their 2 games in hand.
They've got 2 games in hand. Liverpool have got a game in hand. Brighton have got 3 games in hand, but I'm not worried about Brighton.
Yeah, I don't think Brighton will. I mean, as good as they have been. I mean, they 2-2 draw with Leeds, which was a decent game.
It was a decent game. Jack Harrison, bless him.
Yeah. absolutely.
Did you see the own goal?
Could be a vital point. No, I didn't.
I don't know what he does.
Well, it hasn't gone down as an own goal.
No, it's gone as a Solly March goal, but it's definitely an own goal. It's definitely an own goal. He goes to clear it, and he just puts it in the net.
Boots it in his own net. Lovely. You love to see it. Has that not been changed?
Perhaps it hit Solly March on the way. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
He was near enough on the goal line, so I don't know.
It clipped him on the way through. Let's move. Let's slightly focus. Obviously, I mean, a lot of the top teams are playing the bottom teams and what have you. But Leicester, Chelsea seem to be finding a way all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The last 3 games in all competitions they've won.
Yeah, and they were fairly comfortable against Leicester.
Yeah, He seems to have found a bit of a formula at the minute of team and shape.
Well, by the sounds of it, they had a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
The players and Graham Potter. And it seems to have done the trick.
Yeah.
He seems to have found, as you say, he found a formula. He's found a team that he can start with.
Yeah.
And players are starting to play a little bit better now. They're starting to look more of a threat going forward.
Yeah. So very, very good for Chelsea. Big win in the Champions League for them as well.
Yes, getting past Dortmund wasn't going to be an easy one. Yeah.
No, and it gives them a bit of confidence as well, which you're starting to maybe see starting to build in Chelsea. There might be a few, another couple of slip-ups for now in the end of the season, but
maybe. But now they're back in the European picture at least.
Yeah,
Europa League or Conference League.
It wasn't looking good a few weeks ago.
No, it wasn't. No,
it really but good wasn't. For them. Right, top it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Leicester,
it's not looking good for Leicester at the minute.
No, but I mean, it is Chelsea away. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of have to put it in that context.
Yeah.
For them at the minute, as bad as this Chelsea team have been, they have started to show signs. Palace City, then let's talk about that briefly. Big win for City.
Yeah.
Main man coming up with the goal.
I mean, Erling Haaland. If you've seen the Champions League game from yesterday.
Yeah.
5 against Leipzig.
Yeah, no, he wasn't messing around, was he?
No.
It's German opposition. He's used to scoring against German opposition. It's like, this feels good again.
But it was like a 15-minute haul, wasn't it, for the 5?
Yeah,
You're like,
it was.
The man is not human.
No. I'll tell you one thing that I found odd, actually, post-match press conference from Pep when he was saying the reasons.
What's done now?
It wasn't. Well, he said that the reason City haven't won the Champions League is because of their defensive record, not their goal scoring record.
Right.
And not because of Haaland.
Right.
Because they needed a Haaland kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of disagree with him. I mean, as brilliant as he is, and he is brilliant, and who am I to question Pep Guardiola when he says something about his own team that he works with every day?
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, it very much looked like in those big moments in the Champions League over the last 2 or 3 years,
there was no one stepping forward. Yeah.
They've lacked that one person who you can rely on to put the chance away in the vital moment.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's what Haaland gives them. So, you might concede a goal in a semi-final. Yes, of course, you want clean sheets in those sorts of times competitions. I get that. But actually, you had chances in some of those games that you didn't take, that this man probably does take.
Yeah, and I was going to say, these days, obviously, if Manchester City do concede, and it's very rare that they do,
yeah,
you can at least bag on Haaland to get you at least one.
That's it. He can do something for you. But it was a strange one, that. It was a strange thing, that, because obviously all the guy who's asked the question wants him to praise Haaland, give Haaland the praise. Yeah. And he's, maybe he's thinking, well, that's a slight on my former attacking players, most of which you aren't there anymore anyway.
Yeah.
In Jesus and Sterling, they're not there anymore. So it's not as if you're slighting many of your team that are still there.
No.
So it was odd, just an odd thing from that for Pep. He just seems, since this charge has come through, he's been so odd in a lot of his press conferences.
He's giving it out, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just a strange angle of attack, to be honest.
So they just about got past Crystal Palace.
Just about got past Crystal Palace, yeah, but very comfortable win, really. There wasn't a lot of back coming from Palace, was there?
No.
So that puts them within 5 points. Well, keeps them within 5 points of Arsenal, who beat Fulham 3-0. Very comfortable.
Very disappointing from Fulham.
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of thinking that Fulham might give them a game considering how they've been, but no, Arsenal were very, very good. Odegaard he's starting to reach that potential, and like I said, I've said this before, but the pressure he must have felt as a 15-year-old getting signed by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he's now looks like he's found his club, and he's starting to really shine under Arteta.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best midfielders in the league now.
I am now starting to think that the worst might well happen.
It could, it very much could, but there's still only 5 points that gap.
It is, but
it can turn very, very quickly, and they've still got to play each other again.
I mean, bless you for trying to be optimistic and trying to give me some.
I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about I want a title race. That's what I want.
I just think
I want a title race.
That win over Bournemouth last weekend, that is a season-defining moment for them.
It very much could be, but then again, it might not. There's still 11 games to play.
I mean, obviously, if City beat them, they get within 2 points. They get within striking distance. Will Arsenal begin to wobble there?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't like to bet against it at the moment.
I think, it'd be nice for a change, to be honest, for the league.
Yeah.
To have someone else up there fighting.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's one club that could have challenged them, and they've fallen away a little bit now as well, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I've always said this, and no one ever believed me. We weren't ready for a title chase.
You're closer to us now than you are.
I just never ever bought it. Really, it was just never a thing. I mean, we're gonna. Well, you could go above us.
We could.
Are you playing this weekend in the league?
We are.
Yeah, and we've obviously got the cup game.
Yeah, so we could be third by the time you play again.
In the league, yeah.
I mean, we're playing the team you played at the weekend, so,
Southampton.
They look dangerous, Southampton, to be fair.
Well, against 10 men.
Yeah.
Let's put that into that context. I mean, the red card's the red card.
Yep. 4-game ban for Casemiro.
4, which is, I don't understand it, but okay, fine.
It's his second red card of the season.
Yeah, but surely a red card being 3 games is enough, right? Yeah. You don't need to add a 4th on because it's a 1 second.
Yeah, but he's obviously not learned his lesson.
But that doesn't make sense as a thing, though, for anybody. I wouldn't understand it for anybody. It doesn't make sense. Either a red card's worth a 3-game suspension or it's worth a 4-game suspension. It can't be one and then another. That doesn't fathom to me.
Yeah.
Considering, that you could end up with a controversial one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
but then they would have appealed. They would have appealed it had it been controversial.
Well, they're never going to overturn it. They're never going to overturn them. Yeah. I mean, I think he's a bit silly, naive. He doesn't need to go and make that challenge.
Very high.
But he bounces off the top of the ball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It bounces off the top of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what sends him into him.
High. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the idea you could say, well, he's not in control, that's the bit where I'm like, yeah, fine. I'm not going to moan about the red card. No. It's just this idea of, like, why is it a 4? Like, and that's for everybody in the league. It's not just because it's Casemiro. It's the same for everyone. Yeah. Why all of a sudden then? I mean, Nick Pope nearly should have seen another red this week.
Yes, he should have done. Yeah,
and like, it would have been the same for him. So I was like, well, no, a red card's a 3-game ban. It's a 3-game ban. It doesn't matter. Like, why is it now 4 games? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, you get to your yellow card limit again.
Yeah.
You're only missing 1 game for that. And then if you get
No.
You don't get a second 2-game ban, do you?
Yeah, you do. Dumb. So if you get to 5 yellow cards, you get 1.
Well, that's dumb. That's dumb as well.
You get 10 yellow cards, you get a 2-game suspension.
Well, that's dumb as well, then, isn't it? That's stupid as well. Change those rules. It's like it should be 1. It should be very clear, shouldn't it? It should be 1 for your yellow card limit, and 3 for a straight red, 1 for a double yellow.
But it's all about discipline.
If you get, well, it's a suspension to suspension. You can't change the rules. What one thing means and what another thing doesn't mean.
All about accumulate. Well, it used to be back in the early days of the Premier League, it used to be that you would get discipline points and you would accrue so many.
Yeah, well, that's
and then
dumb
you
anyway,
get a suspension. Now they've done away with that.
I don't mind it saying you've got sent off, you get a 3-game suspension.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between one tackle, the one sending off, and the other? If anything, I mean, I've got my questions about the one around the neck anyway, because it's not as bad as everyone kind of tried to make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, though, that violent conduct is worth more of a suspension than the tackle.
Yeah, great.
Right. So why is that one a 4-game and that's a 3-game? No, the punishment for a crime should be the punishment for a crime, and once you've served that, it's done.
To be available for the Europa League.
I mean, yeah, I had this conversation with a guy the other day, just like he's literally now just our Europa League specialist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're always going to struggle down to 10 men. Mm-hmm. We had chances. I don't think any of the penalty. I mean, there's a lot of talk about penalty claim. I don't think they were penalties. I think the guy at the back for Southampton, forgive me, I've forgotten his name. He was falling on the floor when the ball came across. Anyway, right. I don't think he leaned into it. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that, because that's the rule, isn't it? Is that if you're falling, and the ball hits your arm, then it's not a handball.
Oh, it's that one. Yeah.
So he was on his way down, I think, before the ball was actually hit, and he kind of smacked his arm as he was on his way to the ground.
I think there was a couple over this weekend that he was like a yard away, or you haven't got time to move your arm. The only clear penalty that I saw was ours.
Yeah, of course. Tottenham's got Tottenham glasses on again.
It was a clear penalty. Anyway, moving on to a penalty that should have been given.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll move on to Nick Pope.
Indeed, yeah. So we talked about it briefly, but he probably should have gone again.
He probably should have gone for that. Absolutely. Yeah. He's cleaned him out.
Yeah.
I don't understand
why it's not
been given. I don't understand why it's not been given by the on-field referee. I don't understand why VAR have not just gone, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Dumb. He's fouled him there inside the box. Yeah, he hasn't won the ball.
It's just a penalty, isn't it? It's a penalty. He should have been gone.
He didn't even get a yellow card for it.
No. It's really... Well, the thing is, if it's not a penalty, then you can't book him.
No.
If you don't give the penalty.
But it's a collision inside the box.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Him down.
Yeah. It should have been a penalty. I don't necessarily think... I don't think it would have... Well, I don't know if the rule's different for the goalkeeper, because obviously now with the double jeopardy rule...
Yeah. I think he would have got away with a yellow card.
Yeah.
Unless it was denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
No, because that's not the thing now, is it? Because if it's outside the box and it's denying... If you deny a goal-scoring opportunity you're outside the box, then it's a red card. But because if you're quote-unquote denying a goal-scoring opportunity and you're in the box, well, the penalty is another goal-scoring opportunity, so you're not technically denying.
I'll just send them all off.
So therefore you get... No, I actually agree with that one. No, I agree with that rule, because I do think it's a double whammy, right? Because you get the penalty and you get the red card. It's a lot, really. Where actually you get a booking and you get your penalty. Well, they haven't really stopped you from having a chance of scoring a goal.
Yeah, but what if it's
but I don't know whether. Well, but there's no guarantee technically that they'd have scored going in 1-on-1, is there?
I mean, if the goalkeeper's on the floor and there's no defender coming round... I
think you've got more... I bet the chance of you scoring from a penalty is a lot higher than you probably scoring from most 1-on-1s with a goalkeeper in open play.
If it had shanked that one over the bar, then, you know, that would be played forever. But yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so there we go. Newcastle got back on the wide. Wolves have got themselves in a bit of bother.
Work to do, Wolves.
Yeah. But we knew that before that we went into that one. But big win for Newcastle, because they needed that. I think after the disappointment of the final, they looked like they might
the
be
wheels were coming off
wilting a bit. Yeah. But we'll see how it still progresses over the next few weeks. West Ham Villa was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Again, a good point for West Ham down there. Ollie Watkins on the score sheet again
this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, they needed that. Ollie Watkins gets the goal and then another penalty decision.
Oh, Ben Rama's penalty, though, was superb.
Oh, yeah.
Blasted the bloody thing in.
Yeah. No messing around.
No.
Good important win for them. Saturday, then, let's just wrap up. Have we spoke to everybody Saturday? We have spoken about everybody on Saturday. So I think that's it, isn't it? We've been through them all.
We have winded our way through them, but we've got through the 10 games.
Yeah, we've got there eventually. Right, so time to have a little look, see what else is going on around the world of football.
And there is a lot going on around the world. So I'm going to start in Serie A, where Napoli's blip, it seems to be a temporary one. They beat Atalanta by 2-0. Inter lost to Spezia, so the gap is back up to 18 again. Down the bottom of the table, Sampdoria are staring relegation in the face after losing to Juventus. They are currently 12 points from safety. Whoopsie-daisy. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich pulled clear of Dortmund after they were held by Schalke. Both sides meet after the international break at the top of the Bundesliga. In Ligue 1, Kylian Mbappe rescues PSG with a last-minute winner to extend their lead to 10 after Marseille were undone by 2 late goals by Strasbourg. In La Liga, Sevilla and Valencia pick up vital wins in their fight to stay up. The La Liga table is so tight still, with Mallorca in 10th on 32, only 6 points from the bottom 3. Further up the top, Barcelona and Real traded wins as it stays as we are. In the WSL, Sam Kerr's goal gets Chelsea by Manchester United. Arsenal and City win to leave the top 4 separated by 5 points. At the bottom of the table, Leicester drew and Tottenham lost as the battle to stay in the WSL intensifies. Tottenham sacked their head coach as well yesterday, with playing Leicester tonight. It'll be a big game down the bottom.
They've sacked the wrong manager.
They sacked the wrong one. Yeah, everyone got really excited, and it was the wrong one. Anyway, in Saudi, Al Nazir lose to Al Ittihad to lose top spots in the race for the title. Ronaldo was left exasperated by it all, especially when the Messi chants started ringing round the stadium. In the A-League, Adelaide United versus Newcastle Jets was the pick of the round this weekend. It finished 4-2 to Adelaide. And finally, to the MLS, where St. Louis make it 3 wins from 3 to head the Western Conference. An excellent start for the newcomers.
Nicely done by them. Right, that's all very, very, very interesting. What's going on? Up next then, how's Donis getting on, our wonder kid from Football Manager of times gone by?
Well, there was a bit of intrigue in the office when we were looking up this one.
Okay.
Because he came off after 14 minutes.
Oh.
Now, I thought it was a tactical substitution initially.
Why? After 15 minutes?
Well, they were a goal down, so I thought perhaps he brought on another striker, perhaps. No, it was an injury for old Donis.
Dear.
So he picked up a thigh injury.
Right, well, we'll see how he develops then, and we'll have to see.
Yeah, so...
You'll hear from him next. You'll hear from us next when he's back fit and playing, I think. With Donis.
Maybe. Thigh injury, what are we thinking? 3-4 weeks?
Could be 3 or 4 weeks, if it's not just a dead leg or anything silly.
Yes.
So we'll see how that all goes. Poor Donis, not having fun. I'm guessing they lost that game still.
Yeah, sorry, they lost by 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was all done before Donis even left the field, so.
Oh dear. Well, he wasn't there to save him, was he?
No.
Right, so we'll keep on. We'll keep you up to date with how Donis does when he's hopefully back before the end of the season. Right, I think that's pretty much us then this week.
It is. Premier League and FA Cup
yeah.
fixtures to have a look at, though.
Yeah, let's have a look at those before we go.
So we start on Friday night with Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. Big game for Nottingham Forest at home to the Geordies. Then there are 3 o'clock games. Brentford take on Leicester. Southampton take on Tottenham. Aston Villa take on Bournemouth. Wolves take on Leeds. Then the 5:30 game is Chelsea versus Everton. And then just one game on Sunday in the Premier League at least. Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace. Moving on to the FA Cup quarter-finals. So the 5:45 game on Saturday night is Manchester City versus Burnley. No, the wheel this week, I should imagine. It's disappointing. Sheffield United take on Blackburn on Sunday lunchtime. Then the 2:15 kickoff is Brighton versus Grimsby. Come on, Grimsby, as the last side outside the top two divisions in the FA Cup. Before the 4:30 game, Manchester United taking on Fulham.
Very, very exciting weekend of Cup and Premier League football to look forward to. It's going to be a blast. But for now, thank you all very, very much for listening in. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us on Twitter at Let's Football Pod, or you can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. Like I said, we'll be back next week with hopefully Man United on another trip to Wembley, but we shall see. But for now, we'll see you all later. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.